Do that. So we're recording. There you go. Hey everyone. So I'm here with Cliff and I'm excited to go through this interview. Hey man, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm all good, thank you. Thank you very much for taking this time and doing this interview. This is for our community, for everyone in our acquisitions community. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe you want to share it's call about you. I want you to talk. I want you to share whatever you want. Where you were before you joined this, kind of like where you're at right now, and whatever you want to share that you think will add value to everyone.
Okay, cool. Well, I've been in the staffing business for about 20 years. And for the last couple of years, I've been very bored and just thought, just been thinking, what else can I do? It's like I heard Gary Vee say, you're around 50 years of age, that's kind of halftime for your life, and for your working life. So I'm thinking, this is halftime. For the other half of my working life, I'm a young, I turned 50 yesterday, actually. So I'm a young, I'm still pretty, in my mind, I feel like I'm 25. But anyway, I'm still young, and I know I've got some years left. So I want to spend them doing things I want to do. So the pandemic hit, and all my clients, 90% of them went away. And thankfully, the ones I kept, the 10%, we closed all those. So it hasn't been a difficult time for us. But in the beginning, I was thinking, good night, what else could I do? What kind of side hustle, what kind of anything, And I was Googling and came across your information. And, a side story, I hesitate to say this because it may sound weird to some people, but I literally, over the last several months before I ran into you, I literally was praying for a Jewish mentor. And I know that's kind of weird, but I'm a Christian, and we support the Jewish people, but there's something special about the Jew that it is. I mean, in America, I think they're less than 10% of the population, make up 40% of the millionaires. So something, there's a special anointing or blessing on the Jewish people. So when I saw that you were Jewish in the program, I was like, I don't know. And that's just me. I'm speaking from my own personal opinion. I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. Who cares? I'm just talking about what I was looking for. So I bought the program, and that was in April, I think, the first week of April, I believe, and really enjoyed the program. I devoured it, went through it in a couple of weeks, I think. And I always consider myself entrepreneurial, but you kind of made it feel like we could really, the mindset part of it is I could do this, and I didn't. And then between the mindset of saying, hey, I can do this, and then the practical training of how to approach things was really awesome. And it really helped me in dealing with brokers and talking to people. It was like, I don't give a crap. You know what I mean? It's like, I can do this, and they need me, that type of thing. And it was really, it was good. I really devoured it. So anyway, in the meantime, I'm looking up different companies. I'm thinking about four or five different industries to get into, and not settling on any of them. I'm calling all over Florida, different companies and things. I think I looked at, storage places, medical, and some things in the medical realm, just all kinds of things. It finally dawned on me, and this is the thing that I really want your subscribers to get, that I think is really that it dawned on me. I finally quit looking for a particular industry or pick a sector. And I said, you know what, I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and I want to work from Jacksonville. And so I started looking at all the other criteria that you put out there. Like, the ideal would be a company that's been around for 25 years, someone ready to retire. The numbers, I think the formula you have is, doing around $1 million in business, kicks out about $250,000 of income. You can buy that for about, $500,000 to $700,000. I was looking for that formula. And really within a short period of time, I quit trying to figure out industries and sectors and all that, and stuff outside of Jacksonville. And I looked at that, the other criteria. And within a short period of time, I found a great boring business that that hit those other aspects. And I was like, this, holy crap. I was, this is really, a possibility. And it's not far from where I live. It's not like I got to fly. I mean, some of your people trip me out talking about their jet setting. They're going to, fly to Europe and look at a bit. I'm like, what the hell? Just find a freaking business in your backyard. There's probably dozens of them, and keep it simple. You know what I mean? And so that was my biggest, aha moment was, maybe your sector chooses you. You know what I mean? I'm looking, I was looking for something, a solid business, and the particular business I found was actually two guys doing the same business under the same roof. They'd been friends for 30 years, and they're selling their businesses together. Each of them did a little under $1 million a piece. And so basically I'm buying a $2 million, according to last year's numbers, a $1.8 million business. I'm combining their businesses together. I'm buying it for $1.1 million, and it kicked out last year $440,000 of income for the owners. So according to those numbers, after I pay my SBA payment, it'll be around a $300,000 income based on those numbers. Now the good thing is this year their total revenue is up 13%. And the net income is up 18%. So it's up to 2.1 almost. And the net income is 570. So back out my SBA loan, I'm like I'll be over 400,000. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? That's going to be double what I'm normally, what I'm used to.
That's a good surprise to have when you're buying a business.
I'm excited. My wife's tripping too. So she's like,
so good.
I'm a genius right now, but anyway, I digress. But we got the SBA, we went through the SBA process, and I was originally told we needed 5%. And the good news is if you close it by September 27th, the government pays the first 6 months payments, which I think is wonderful. My payment's going to be around $10,000 a month. So that's $60,000 back in my pocket the first 6 months, thankfully. But I lost track of what I was about to tell you something before that. But anyway, the SBA they're swamped. So it's taken, our original closing date was July 15th. I think I wrote that on the page one time, but it's just been taking longer and longer. So we're looking like we're closing hopefully on September 1st. Now we're waiting. It took so long for them to approve it. And then my general liability insurance has taken a little bit longer. And then I got to get another license. So it's all, everything's waiting for me to get my license, my liability insurance and license. So,
where you got the financing for like SBA? Did you just pick up the phone, or what was your process getting the SBA?
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, so when I first got the program, I'm thinking, gosh, maybe I can get into a business for nothing. You know what I mean? And find some schmuck that'll let me come in and but I was on the phone with a business broker who's turned out to be a real help. And he said, hey, I know a SBA lender who's done a couple deals with me, and just give him a call. So I called him, and I'm so glad I did, because he said he looked at the numbers. The numbers were so good. He looked at everything and said, I think we can get you for 5%. It cash flows really well. And so I'm thinking, we're selling it for 1.1. I'm thinking I'm getting it for $55,000, and I was going to by hook or crook, figure that out. I actually had a rental house I was going to sell to finance that. But the funny thing is, and this is a trip, and this is another thing I'll tell your viewers, is a lot of times, what you think you're going to do, that falls away, and then something better opens up. So what I actually figured out was, I couldn't sell my rental house because all the investors that want to buy those kind of houses, due to COVID, they can't kick my renter out. Like in a normal economy, you can kick somebody out if they wanted to stay. Right now, and so they didn't want to take a chance on that. So I'm thinking, well, crap. So now what's my plan B? Well, then I ended up selling I wanted to keep my current company and run that, but ended up selling that company, and we're actually going to close on that this week. And so we'll finance the down payment. But even after all that, the SBA came back and said they needed 10% down. So there's seems like there's going to be surprises, and I think you have to have faith that as obstacles come, you just you figure things out, you move and you pivot,
Yeah.
and so and then on top of that, the SBA wants you to have living expenses, that they say. So that was that came out to be about $25,000 just based on my couple of expenses that I have. So.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my mother-in-law giving me a check for $30,000 that I'm going to give right back to her to cover the living expenses requirement. So I deposited a check from her yesterday for the gift letter, but I'll give it right back to her, after we close.
What are your thoughts about people who are afraid to go to people they know or just family members for money on deals? A lot of people scared to even ask their members. Do you think? What do you think?
I tell you, I can appreciate that. My dad, he was kind of a final resort for me if I needed, and after it's all said and done, I needed about $25,000, and he was even prepared to help me with that, but I wanted to. In the middle of the night, it was so funny because I'm thinking, gosh, I don't want to I'd rather not involve my parents, But in the middle of the night, I thought, hey, my mother-in-law, she's got money. So I just asked her the next day. I said, listen, I need about $25,000 to finalize this, and I'll pay it right back to you. And thankfully, if I needed that money, not just for the living expenses, but for the other. Right now, the SBA, I'm saving the money. I'd be making the payment back to the SBA, so I could have paid someone back quickly. And that was my other thing. If I needed any more money, I'd ask my dad, and then I could pay. I could show him where I could pay it back pretty quickly because the SBA is making my first 6-month payments. So I get it, but it's like sometimes you got to think about what do you freaking want, you know what I mean? And I think like what you say, if you really believe in the deal, it'll give you the power and the energy to talk, talk to people. And I think that's important because if you got, maybe sometimes it's going to take time to find a good deal that you really believe in, that you can sell and be convincing. But if you do, I think that your family, if they know it's a good deal, most of them automatically want to help you. So it's a win-win for them. But I think it's important that it's got to make sense to them. So,
and it's not like you're buying, random thing. Like this is going to bring you 300, 400,000 potentially each year. I'm not even talking about potentially bringing those people as investors, right? This is almost like a favor, like you said, like a gift. But to give even family members the opportunity to invest in those deals in some capacity, I mean, those are great opportunities. And when you see what's going on right now in the market, I mean, we might be headed towards a recession. So I don't know where else they're going to put their money, you know? So I think one of the biggest challenges.
The funny thing is the business broker that I had to talk, that is their broker, the seller's broker who I had to talk to, he literally told me this 2 days ago. He said, Cliff, I literally was going to ask you if you wanted me to invest $100,000 in this deal, or he wanted to give me $100,000.
So good.
And so I think, and it's because it's a good deal. He knows it's a good deal. Everybody that I've talked to, my attorney, everybody's like, crap, this is a good deal. So I think if you find a good deal, the money will come out for you. I mean, it's been that experience with me. Yeah. I think it goes back to, and I know it takes a lot of faith for people, but if you start down the road and maybe your first light is green, but not all your lights are going to be green. You're going to come to yellow and red lights. I think if you by faith, just push the gas pedal, go through the first light, you'll come to the next stoplight. It's going to be red, but you'll figure it out. And that's the encouragement I would give to your people is press the gas, and the next stoplight will turn green when you'll figure something out the next time.
Love it. So good. Love it. So tell us maybe a little bit more about, did you have any conversation with the business owner, or was it mostly with the broker? And did you have problems positioning yourself with the broker? I know a lot of people have challenges there. What happened?
Listen, your positioning with the broker is genius. The way that you set that up and the way you, I was surprised at how many times before I found this business, I would be talking to a broker and just really verbatim what you would say in a lot of times email as well. Because, if you're afraid to say things, face to face, you can do an email and it's like all of a sudden you're getting these, the numbers back, and you're like, crap, that worked, So I think it's important to have faith in your system. I'm talking to your subscribers in the system that, the verbiage works and it'll give you that confidence. And then you're playing at their level. They have no idea that you're, a schmuck or whatever, but at least from the phone, on the phone and email, you're at their level. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
And then you had conversation with the owners as well, with the owner of the business as well?
Yeah, I got on a Zoom call with the owners and I told them a lot of the things that you told us that they want to hear, that we're going to protect their legacy. We're going to protect their employees. We're going to treat their employees well. And that was they had interviewed about five prospects before that. And they told the business owner that they knew that I would treat their people right. And that's why they picked me. Seriously.
So good. Love it.
You got to shore those people up. Like you're going to protect, what they built and their
That's
people.
what they care about. I mean, some of those people worked on those businesses for all their life, right? And those employees are like, that's their family. They want to make sure someone's treating them the right way. So, it's simple, it's common sense, but most people don't do that. They think they need to go and, go to war with those owners or employees for some reason.
Well, they told the broker, they said, we've talked to people that they're just all about the money, and they're just, and it's like, it's not about the money, it's people, and you got to make money and we're going to make money. But I think it's the people piece is what sustains and what gives us sustainability of what's going on. So
good. Yeah. It's all about people in the end of the day. And then in terms of making offers, did you had any back and forth, or it was usually just like the broker told you, yeah, that's the offer, you raised the capital from the SBA and that's it? Or you had some back and forth in your negotiation?
Well, like I said, I think the broker did me a favor. He priced it right. And I knew that he did once I did the numbers based on what you said the numbers should be. And then in talking to my CPA and my attorney, I knew it was already, and I didn't want to go back and forth. They're good people. I'm going to be working with these people. Matter of fact, one of the owners is going to be an employee of mine for 5 years.
Nice.
He's 60. And this is the genius of going after a company that they're close to retirement. This guy's going to work for me for 5 years as an estimator and mentor, you know what I mean? And, I wanted a good relationship with him. And I said, we'll give them what they're looking for. They had to come up with 10%. Initially, they had to do 10%. I can't remember what they call it.
Seller financing. Yeah.
Yeah. Pay it later, 10%.
Yeah.
And I initially had a 5%, they had to come up with. So it gets confusing, but anyway, I didn't want to confuse them and I didn't want to aggravate them. And so I said, I'll give you what you want, and the business is already worth more than what I'm buying it for based on this year's numbers. So I'm happy and they're happy, and so
What about due diligence? Where you got your attorneys from? Do you have accountants? What's your process there?
Okay, definitely. Like you say, the attorney and the CPA they're all about getting paid at the closing. So I have not paid my attorney or CPA anything. And it's like common, language with them. And I've never done this before. And I just said what you said to tell them. And they're like, yeah, we'll at closing. Even before there was a guarantee that we were going to close. I mean, they were doing work for me. So the one attorney, I was referred to him. He's an SBA attorney. He works with does a lot of SBA deals. And so he's familiar, and he's working for me today actually. And then my CPA, my current CPA that I've been with for 10 years, he was all about it. He knows he's going to grow his business. I've got this is going to be much more business for him from me, and so he's working, but even without that, he would have, I mean, they're very familiar with getting paid at the end, at the closing. So.
Love it. What about plans post deal? So you said one of the owners is going to stay with you. Do you have other plans on how to grow this business maybe, or how to manage it better?
Yeah, here's what, excuse me, I apologize. I'm got a little frog. They do no advertising. It's all word of mouth, the business is. So I actually spoke to a marketing company today. A friend of mine actually has a marketing. We're going to put together a brand new smart website. Their websites look like they're, they've been around for a long time and they're from a 60-year-old, So we're gonna upgrade the website. I told the guy that's going to do that, I said, I'm going to get working capital back from the deal and a line of credit. So I'll pay him from that because all my cash is going to buy this business. I'm living on my credit card right now, so don't tell anybody. But anyway, all the cash is going to buy the business. But once we close, like I said, I'm getting quite a bit back at the close. So I'll get him starting on a new website, and my plan is it's at almost 2.1 million now, up from 1.8 last year. So I mean, significant growth even to this year. Mm-hmm. But my plan is to do some marketing and advertising, and I'd like to grow it. And I've got some goals to grow it, and eventually hopefully nobody knows these people. I want to sell it. I'd like to double it within 5 years and then sell it,
Love it.
It'll be doing like 5 million in 4 to 5 years, kicking out about a 1.2, then sell it for 6 million. And I mean, when you talk about that strategy is really, really out there. I mean, I've always thought about, buying real estate and holding them for 30, then I'll have whatever. But this strategy, friggin', grow the business, and it'll be a 5 multiple of 1.2 if I get to 5 million. Sell it for 6 million in 4 to 5 years. That's what I really, don't tell anybody, because hopefully nobody is in Jacksonville and can figure all this out. I don't want the owners to know that's my strategy. But anyway, that's really what I'd like to do.
Yeah, and that's before potentially buying other businesses and
exactly.
doing some bolt-ons. Yeah.
So
good. I love it. Yeah. Anything else you have in mind that you want to add?
No, I'm honestly your program is giving me an escape from my current situation and scenario, and so I'm just thankful for it. And
Thank you.
And I think it's the teaching is going to help me duplicate what I'm doing now, because I really if I put a manager in this situation with the owner and the manager, it really could possibly not have to be a part of it as much, and maybe I do this again with another business. That's what I'd really like to ultimately, buy another and/or build this one quickly, sell it, buy something else. I mean, that sounds exciting to me. And I feel like I've always had this in me, because my dad was an entrepreneur, and he bought, and sold businesses in real estate and stuff. And I've always felt like this was in me, but I just didn't have a way to get to it. And my dad's been more, kind of, protecting his nest egg as opposed to wanting to invest or whatever. So it's all good, but anyway, I feel like this is giving me at least on a new part of my life that I'm excited about, and I feel like it's going to be really good.
So good. Hey, really, really appreciate you sharing those things, and I've got no doubt it's going to add a lot of value to everyone who's going to watch it. And I mean, you make it sound really simple, just go out there, do the work, right? You don't need to make it more difficult than it is.
Well, I tell my wife all the time.
Yeah.
I was telling someone else, it's almost, I'm a hustler, and I've, been in business for a long time. I know what it means to hustle and strive and grown through, this process has not been that way at all. It's been pleasant. And one of my goals, I'm reading, what's the other guy, the $1 Billion Man? I've listened to some of his stuff, and somebody said, how to, set your goals and doing things where it's easily done, and where you're not feeling like you're striving, and it's like, you know, you're
Yeah.
aggravating yourself and others. And that part, I've just made a mental note to enjoy the journey. And that's what, you know, that's what I think if you set your sight on that, and you're intentional about that, you can find a way to keep things where you're not feeling stressed and not feeling aggravated, and you're enjoying it. And that's what, you know, that's what I've done, and that's what I want to maintain and enjoy the journey.
Love
So,
it. Hey man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank
yeah.
you.